We don't have a slide for Rebecki versus Roosevelt Roberts because this was just added. But we'll go over it. Mateusz Rebecki coming in as there's no odds for it either, but he's probably going to be a pretty sizable favorite against Roosevelt
Yeah.
Roberts, who was on the Ultimate Fighter this past season, didn't make it to the finals, fought Austin Hubbard and took a loss. And then Hubbard goes on and loses in the finale. But Roosevelt Roberts, been in the UFC before, got some UFC experience. Rebecki was supposed to fight Nurulu Aliyev, and Aliyev got hurt. So he's stepping in here, still staying on the card. Glad he's still staying on the card. We get another fight. Excuse me. Yeah, I would expect him. I mean, what do you think the line's going to be on this one? I think Rebecki's probably going to be like minus 300 at minimum. What are you thinking?
I was going to say minus 250, minus 300, just for the fact that Roosevelt Roberts does have a lot of UFC experience. He had his first stint in the UFC where he had, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, he had like 7 fights in his first stint, and now he's going to be in his 8th UFC fight here, and had obviously the Ultimate Fighter experience. But if you're losing to Austin Hubbard, who got beat in that finale, I just don't know if you're going to come in here against a guy like Mateusz Rebecki, who is an absolute savage. He's one of our plays of the week because we got him at minus 140, which was an absolute steal. And I think you and I both read that pretty damn well against Loic Radzivov. Rebecki's just a guy, though. If you want to stay on the feet with him, he hits hard. He hits like a truck. He's got good volume. He's got a good gas tank. I mean, the dude is absolutely strong as an ox. I mean, he's good in every single department. So even if he is striking with Roberts, he's landing some good power shots, and Roberts is landing more volume and puts a pace on him. Like Rebecki could go to the grappling a little bit, take him down, and do some work when he's on top. If this does stay at space too, Roosevelt Roberts isn't the biggest, strongest guy in the world, whereas Mateusz Rebecki kicks your legs 2 to 3 times, like you're compromised for the rest of the fight. We saw it against Loic Radzivov. This guy is just an absolute animal. I do think minus 250, minus 300 would probably be fair for the odds, and that's probably around what it would open up as. Can't take a shot on the dog here, especially late notice for Roberts. Hasn't really had a UFC fight in quite a while against this guy who just looks like and fights like an absolute stud up into this point. So yeah, give me Mateusz Rebecki for the pick for sure.
Yeah, Rebecki is he's pretty damn good. I mean, he's 18-1. He's only lost once in his career, so he's going to be at a significant height and reach disadvantage. But honestly, I think that just opens up the ground game. I mean, he can get a lot of takedowns. He can rack them up. And when he does get you to the ground, he does some pretty dang good work there. So it's a tough fight for Roberts to take. But I do think he's probably taking it, get back in the UFC, do the UFC some favors here. But, I mean, if he could stay at range and pick him apart there, it's possible. But I think Rebecki probably, swings big overhand lefts, goes in for some takedowns, gets him to the ground, and does good work there. Roberts, 58% takedown defense in the UFC. And I think Rebecki should be able to take him down pretty easily.
Yeah.
And probably look for a sub or some ground and pound. Roberts is pretty tough, though, when he gets on the ground. I mean, he's only been finished twice in his UFC career. But I would expect Rebecki to be pretty dang ready for this one. Roosevelt Roberts on short notice. Rebecki coming in with the full camp. With an opponent who isn't near the level of Nurul Aliyev. So I think it's Rebecki all day. If it's under 300, I'll probably be all over it. But I would expect it to be minus 300 or higher, or at least that'll steam as the week goes on. So, yeah, he'll be the pick for me. And those are the picks for UFC 295.